welcome to another reading vlog. It's already Tuesday because, as I said at the end of my last vlog, I'm very behind this week. That's what happens when you have a day where you just decide, who cares? Then future you has to try and catch up. But never mind, this week I've got some reading to do. Why am I trying to push my glasses up all the time? So today I do have a few things to do. I need to do my NaNoWriMo words. I've got to take my car for her warrant, which is always stressful. A few other errands to do. I'm going to return this book to the library because I realized that the audiobook is now available through my library, so I don't need to rush to read the physical book, which is good because it's due back at the library today. I just took too long to get to it. But never mind. I mean, I was on the hold list for 6 months, and then I finally got it. And now I'm not even going to read it. Ridiculous. But anyway, I'm going to listen to the audiobook, which will hopefully come through this month, so I'll still be able to say that I read it this month since I put it in my TBR. Then the other books that I will be trying to read this week is, I'm going to finish off Weather Child by Philippa Ballantyne. So this is a book all about New Zealanders who have these magical powers. This book's really hard to explain, actually. But there are these people with special powers, and there are also children who are being kidnapped and forced into these powers. So the good guys are trying to track down the bad guys. And then I also started just briefly last night, Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I'm slowly getting better at saying that name, I think. But this is really weird. I've only read the tiniest bit, but this woman comes into this cafe and her boyfriend breaks up with her, says he's moving to America. She's very depressed about it. Then she hears that this cafe where he broke up with her actually has the ability to send people back in time. So she goes back to the cafe and says, send me back to when he broke up with me. I want to change things. And they say, well, actually, our time travel actually has a whole bunch of rules. You've got to sit in this particular seat. You can't change the future. Lots of rules. She hasn't yet time traveled, but I think she's going to decide to do it anyway. So I'm excited to continue reading this. And it's pretty quick, which is good because it's due back at the library. Oops. I will have to try and finish this today. So I think though that just finishing off these two books is probably enough for this week. I do also have some audiobooks on the go. So I have just started An Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard. Now, I had seen quite a few mixed reviews on this, but actually I'm really enjoying it. There's quite a lot of characters, so it's a bit confusing in audiobook, but it follows all these different magicians who are participating in this like tournament where at the end one of the challenges will become the head house of this unseen magician world, but there's also something going wrong with magic. All the different characters have schemes that they're working on, things they're trying to find out. I think I'm actually about halfway through it, and I'm looking forward to continuing it today while I'm about my errands. I'm not sure what else I need to listen to after I finish that. I think probably I will listen to The Humans by Matt Haig. It's in a different app. I think last time I gave the synopsis for The Humans, I gave the wrong synopsis, so I'm not going to give you a synopsis yet until I at least start reading it. Anyway, got lots to do today, so I will catch up with you guys later. I have been so unproductive this week that I have completely lost track of what day it is because what am I even doing with my life? Anyway, today I have already managed to finish my NaNoWriMo words for the day, although I really still need to do some catch-up words for the 2 days that I missed, and ideally I would also do some like planning ahead writing because I know there's some days in the future where I'm not even going to be able to write, but we'll see how I go. Right now, I do need to film my wrap-up because that's another thing that I'm late on at the moment. So I'm going to do that. Reading-wise, yesterday I actually finished the audiobook of An Unkindness of Magicians, and I have to say, I really liked it. I feel like I need to go and find some of the reviews of people saying they didn't enjoy it because I'm really curious what they didn't like about it. I do know in the beginning I was definitely confused because there are so many characters, but part of that's just I think it's really hard to keep track when it's an audiobook. I do know I was a bit confused in the beginning because there were so many characters, but I love the way all the storylines came together and the way that the magic worked and the different relationships that people formed. I really enjoyed it. And I thought the ending was good as well. I have seen that there's going to be a sequel coming out next year, which is weird because it seemed all wrapped up, but there's certainly plenty more potential for more stories in that world, so I guess we'll see what happens next. I did also start The Humans by Matt Haig on audiobook, and I have to say it is hilarious. I just listened to it a little bit while I was getting ready, but I was laughing so much, so I'm looking forward to continuing that. It's all about this alien who has taken over this person's body because that person happened to make this mathematical discovery that was going to put humans kind of onto the next level, and the aliens weren't sure whether humanity is really ready for that, so he's taken over this guy's position to do something. I'm not really sure what, but just his perception of humans, given that he knows pretty much nothing about humans, and obviously this alien society is very different, so things that are just very simple about our society he finds completely bizarre and nonsensical, and it really puts you in that perspective where you can look at what humans do and how ridiculous we are. I'm really enjoying it. As far as Before the Coffee Gets Cold, I realized eventually that this does have chapters after all. It's just that the chapters are over 50 pages long, so there are 4 chapters, I think each of which is going to follow a different character as they use the cafe to go back in time. I liked the first story, and I need to hurry up and finish the rest of this so I can return it. At the moment I'll be getting late fines, but I've just accepted that where I'm at this week on my life is behind on everything, and late fees are just part of the cost of that. But I will try and finish it today or tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I've got to go do some filming, so I'll catch you later. Hi, so you would have seen we spent Thursday and Friday at the beach. It was a nice time, even though I didn't feel that well on Friday. So that's why on Saturday I didn't really check in either, because I just didn't feel like doing much of anything. I did do some reading, so I finished off Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and it was a strange story. Like, I think I liked it. Essentially, it's made up of 4 short stories, each one investigating a reason why someone might use the cafe to go back in time, specifically because one of the rules for this cafe's time travel is that you can't change the present. Even if you try, you won't be able to change the present. So it's kind of looking at the different reasons why people might want to travel back in time even though they know they can't change the present. And throughout all of the stories, there are kind of like regular customers and the staff that you get to know things about them. So it's more about just stories about people's life, but with this weird time travel element. I guess it's magical realism, really, because the time travel doesn't really make any sense. But I liked it. It was just a nice, calming, comfortable read. Hanging out at a cafe with some nice people, and there just happens to be some time travel. So yeah, I enjoyed that book. Also, I did finish Humans by Matt Haig. I will say I don't think the second half was quite as funny, or like the plot wasn't as good, it wasn't as fast paced as the first half. The first half was just hilarious, and I was expecting to give it 5 stars, but because it kind of lost its way in the second half, probably only give it 4 stars, although it was definitely still funny at the end. There were just some lines that were absolute genius in terms of just looking at the things that humans do from a non-human perspective and just the ridiculousness of it all. It might not be everybody's taste in humor, but for me, it was just a hilarious look at humanity, and I really enjoyed it. Today, I have also been trying to make some progress on Weather Child and finally finish this book off. I think I'm going to make it. I am enjoying it. I think I'm just frustrated because I feel like if this had been properly published or some more effort put into it, it could have been amazing, but instead there's just a few problems with the writing and the way it's put together, and it's frustrating because there's so much potential in the story and I love the characters. So I'm enjoying it, but I can see that it could have been better with just a few small tweaks, and that's frustrating. But I'll try and finish that off. I am also trying to catch up on my NaNoWriMo words, which I am very far behind on, so that's good. Anyway, I'm going to go and get some dinner and try and do some reading and some writing and probably some other things that I've forgotten that I'm supposed to be doing before the end of the week, but I will check in again before I end this vlog. Hi, so it's Monday and it must be time to finish this vlog up. So last night I did manage to finish Weather Child. So conflicted about it. In some ways I really loved this, but I do think that the quality of the writing let it down, and it's probably just that it needed some more serious editing. There's even one of the later chapters a part where the wrong character's name was used, and it was quite clearly the wrong character's name because it was talking about a character doing something, but she wasn't there. So that makes no sense, and a few other things were just a bit weak, which I never picked up on the first time, so it must just be that I've been reading so much more. I'm much more critical than I used to be, but at the same time I really liked the story. I really liked the characters. I even like the way it's kind of told in 4 parts, and in between each part there's quite a big jump in time, and the characters develop quite a lot because of the long time period, and I really appreciated that, and seeing how their relationships change over time. I think as well, I just appreciate the fact that it's set in New Zealand, and like there's bits that you recognize, oh, that's that place. Even though it's mostly set in like Wellington, I don't live in Wellington, but I've been there enough that I recognize the places, and that's kind of cool. I don't often get that because most books are not set in New Zealand. So anyway, I enjoyed this book. I also enjoyed Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which I finished. I enjoyed An Unkindness of Magicians, and I enjoyed, what was the other one that I read? The Humans by Matt Haig. That was hilarious. So 4 books that I enjoyed. That's a pretty good reading week, so I'm happy with that. Also got to spend a couple of days in the sun, so that's good. Not so good at anything else in my life that I was trying to do last week, but whatever, good reading, good sunny days, it's a win. But anyway, as usual, thanks for hanging out with me this week. Hopefully this will be a shorter vlog since I didn't do that much. So I hope that you had a more productive week than me, and that you also read some really good books. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.